Knicks really got past that playoff dragon for them that really stood in their way. So for the New York Knicks to be the Celtics and then an outright favorite to win the Eastern Conference Finals, that's where the disappointment is.
The goalposts got moved, right? Because when you went into the Celtics series, a lot of Knicks fans said they weren't going to be this. I'll say this is more unprecedented than the 99 run when they were the 8th seed.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
No one is going to pick Indiana. No one's going to pick Indiana to make it close, honestly. Like, you could get tremendous odds if you pick OKC in 7.
I think that taking the series over 5.5 games, the last 2 NBA Finals series ended in 5. I think this one goes 6. I think the Thunder will get the job done, but I think the Pacers are just too strong of a team and too talented of a team and too deep of a team to lose in 5 or fewer games.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
Welcome in. It's In-Game Live Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Dave, hour number 1 of our 2-hour extravaganza as the wait is finally over. After seemingly a month and a half or so, we have hockey back in action as the Stanley Cup Finals begin tonight in Edmonton. Game 1, Florida and the Edmonton Oilers. Got some baseball games, but for the most part, Dave, it's hockey. We got our SGPs, we got our Black Clouds, we got our 5 on the lines. We remain red hot, but the NHL taking center stage tonight. How are you, my friend?
Excited to watch hockey, but at the same time, excited to keep it rolling. Broke out the Rod Carew tonight. What do you think? Twins,
Nice.
Old school Twins, because the Twins have done us right here on the show, probably done Betters right all over the place because they're playing the A's who just can't get it right. So we got baseball, yes. We might even preview some golf. We got guests, a loaded list of guests tonight from top to bottom, starting with Pete Jensen next segment. We'll have Ian McMillan. We'll have Cam Stewart. Well, we're loaded up. So this is going to be good. Maybe as good as the 5 on the line. I mean, this thing has been I'm afraid of just wear. Like, I was afraid. I thought about it today. Am I wearing the Twins stuff tonight? Like, because, again, last night was good. I don't want to jinx it.
I do get the sense, how long can this thing go, right? We saw Colorado win their 3rd straight today, which is amazing. 4-1 last night. We hit with the Twinkies over. Didn't look good, down 2-1 after 5, but the over 10 hit. Twins win. Roop gets his over 3.5 strikeouts, and we hit with the under San Diego, San Francisco, which is just the absolute classic. Winners bet with streaks, losers bet against streak. What's that? 11 straight unders now for San Francisco games. So that's why you bet with these streaks. As you say, you can only be wrong one time if you bet with it. You can be wrong a long time if you bet against it. The only loss we had was Baltimore and Seattle. So we were 4-1 last night, 8-2 for the week, and 159 and 104 for the last 2 months or so that we've been doing this. So 55 games over 500 are 5 on the line. So with that said, what are we doing tonight, you ask? All right, we're going to start with the Stanley Cup. Game 1, Florida, Edmonton. They dropped the first puck here in about 10 or 15 minutes or so. Over is 19-5 if you do 5.5 goals. So last 24 games, Florida versus Edmonton has had 6 goals or more. 19-5 last 24, 12-3 last 15 of 6 goals or more. So over 5.5. Lay the juice if you have to. Some sites are 6.5. Some sites are 6. Some sites are 5.5. I'm going to grab the 5.5 minus the 160. Florida versus Edmonton.
Not a bad play if you can find the 5.5 and you can stomach laying the juice. I actually like the under a little bit tonight, but I'm a book guy and I'm listening to everybody talk about there's being goals and scores and all this other stuff. Sloppy hockey after all this time off. Hard to complete passes. So maybe we'll get it under. I don't know. What's number 4?
All right, number 4 is we go from 5 down to 1. San Diego's beaten San Francisco now 7 straight, including 2 straight in this series. You know the old saying, winners bet with streaks, losers bet against streaks. So we'll keep this simple. San Diego minus 115 at San Francisco.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I had an old bookmaker tell me years ago, Davey, bet the streak, bet the sweep. He used to say that all the time. 2 good teams. I think these are 2 good teams. San Diego got the best of it. Keep going with San Diego. I like it. What is number 3?
All right, number 3, we'll head out to Sacramento. A's 21 and over this season at home. A's 12-4 over last 16 meetings against Minnesota, including both these games so far this series. So it's a big number, but over 10, Minnesota at the A's.
I got a stat here. The A's have lost 8 in a row in 19 of the last 20 games. In that span, they've surrendered 47 home runs. In that same time frame, the Dodgers with 36 are the only team to hit more than 30. They're giving up bombs, giving up runs. This game's going over. I like that one a lot. What's number 2?
Yeah. By the way, they tied a franchise record giving up 8 runs or more in 6 straight games heading into tonight. Yeah. All right, number 2, we might as well capitalize on this game. You said it, Dave. A's 1-19 their last 20 games. I mean, don't make this stuff harder than it has to be. Give me Minnesota, right? Minus the 2-1 at the Athletics.
The starting pitcher tonight for the Minnesota Twins is Zebby Matthews. I don't know who Zebby Matthews is, but doesn't even matter. In 3 starts this season, Matthews has 21 strikeouts over 14 innings. Good enough for me. Broke out the Carew. Let's go Twins. What's number 1?
Let us go Zebby. All right, that leaves us with the coup de grace, creme de la creme, numero uno, best trend of the night. And you know it's got to be pretty good if it's not the anti-Oakland A's trend, right? San Francisco, 15-1 under now. Its last 16 games, including 11 straight unders. That is amazing. So, our number 1 trend play of the evening. Yeah, under 7.5, San Diego at San Francisco. We've given this out a couple of times already. In fact, I think we gave it out even some last week. You know, it's continued into this week. So under 7.5, San Diego, San Fran.
One of those things that you just really have to get on the wave and ride. The Giants have scored 4 runs or fewer in 16 consecutive games. The only longer streaks in franchise history occurred in 1902. You weren't born yet. Neither was I. 1965. Those were both 19 games where they scored less than 4 runs. Keep this one rolling. Boy, that's a pretty good 5 on the line, Wetzel. That looked pretty strong. Yeah.
I mean, I certainly would take another 4-1, but I think we got a decent chance for 5-0. I don't want to get too goofy, too greedy. But like you said, you know, could the A's win? I don't think the A's would win. I give the game a better chance of going under than I do the A's winning. You know, could San Fran break out and win 5-3? Doesn't take much to go over 7.5, I suppose so.
Right.
That one would be a 50-50 one. So we'll say 159 and 104 with 1 push, actually, and 8-2 this week. So Not bad.
Stay hot.
Not bad at all.
Like they like to say in the book and like they like to say on the field. We used to tell the girls this all the time when they got 2 hits, 3 hits in a row. Stay hot. Keep it rolling. 4-1 would be a good result for a Wednesday.
Yep. Hit our black cloud, by the way, last night as well with Minnesota laying a run and a half. And it went 10-3. Yeah, it was cruising. Oh, their bullpen is so bad. That may have been the best bet all year. A bullpen that's the worst in baseball, and it's a bullpen by committee game for the A's. I mean, there was just like, you talk about a classic opposite pick if that thing would have won. I give the Rockies a better chance of sweeping, which they did today for the first time since early May of last year, when they actually had back-to-back sweeps, believe it or not. I looked it up to break up the Colorado Rockies.
One team in baseball that has not won 3 games in a row all season. I'll tell you after the break if you don't think about it. If you can think about it during the break, and so can everyone else. But yes, one team in baseball, now that the Rockies did it yesterday, that has not won 3 games in a row.
Interesting. I'd guess the White Sox, but Pete Jensen, Senior Fantasy Director for the NHL. We'll talk some Bucks coming up next.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
2 guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this once? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
Rearranging that rim. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of
18.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip, try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Scott, Dave, hour number 1. We're about 5-10 minutes away from dropping the first puck. Game 1 Stanley Cup Finals. So we still have some time to get some plays in, discuss who's going to do what in this postseason. Game 1 tonight. So let's welcome in Pete Jensen, the Senior Fantasy Director for the NHL, and I will say proud Penn State alum, which I'm sure my partner in crime will appreciate since he's a Penn State guy himself. What's going on,
Yes.
Pete? How are you tonight?
Doing great, guys. Yeah, ready for game one of the Cup final in mere moments here. And yeah, what a year for Penn State. They didn't get those any of those big three national titles, unfortunately, but to go to the Final Four in both football, lacrosse, and hockey was a big achievement, I feel like, this year.
Good stuff, Pete. I didn't even know that. So I'm Penn State 93, probably a little before your time. But it was fun. It was a fun year for Penn State, everything. It's been a fun year in hockey. And we get a rematch of last year's final, which some people will tell you is not fun. But I think these are the two best teams, Pete. And I'm looking forward to a long series. Do you think this thing is going 6 or 7 games like I do? Or do you think one team is going to grab control of this series and maybe keep this thing 5 or less?
I think that it's going to go 6 at least. I have the Oilers in 6. I think the Panthers could easily win the series too. And if it's going to go shorter, Florida's the team that is usually the one that knocks its opponent, out of its comfort zone, scores in the high danger areas, gets the elite goaltending from Sergei Bobrovsky. I just think that the coolest thing about this series is the narrative of Connor McDavid. There are so many different ways to target him, either in the props market, the futures market, the Conn Smythe, to lead the series in goals, points, shots on goal, things like that. But the biggest order of business is for this guy who is viewed, I think, universally as a top 5 player, or his ceiling is top 5 player all time. You need the Stanley Cup to cement your legacy in that neck of the woods, right, guys? So that's what he needs to do. He needs to avenge last year. He won the Conn Smythe in the losing effort in Game 7 last year, but he was held without a point in both Game 6 and 7 against the Panthers. That was a wacky series. Remember, they lost the first 3 games. They roared back. They had an 8-1 win. And then Connor McDavid was held off the board, guys, for the final 2 games of the series. So he's going to be out for some vengeance here.
All right. So you think he's going to score tonight?
I think there's a good chance. Edmonton's been playing unreal hockey at home this postseason. They also are a team to watch on the live line. I saw they're 5-2 this postseason, best winning percentage in the postseason field when trailing first. So they fought back in the series against the LA Kings. Remember, they had 4 straight victories, and they were all in come-from-behind fashion after losing games 1 and 2 on the road in that series. They'll start this series at home. And they've been getting great depth scoring. So it's hard to pinpoint on both of these teams. I will say with the anytime goal scorers, it's been a bit random. You have guys like Corey Perry, who's like 40 years old, leading the NHL in high danger goals this postseason. Like, I cover hockey all year long. I mean, I never would have seen that coming. It's pretty crazy that a guy that old is clicking in this way. But he's picked up a really important role for that team, especially with Zach Hyman injured. He's normally their high danger guy. So that's something to watch out for in this series if Perry can keep this going.
It's unbelievable, really, when you think about it. But that's what happens, right? These narratives, storylines develop. What about the goalies, Pete? The goalies, I think, are going to decide this thing. I'm convinced with Bob. I'm not completely sold on Skinner, although he's playing as good as he's played maybe ever. Like, you look at the shots or the saves tonight for goalies. Is this one of those ones where you take both goalies over the totals for saves or something like that? What do you think? How does this game play out for shots on goal?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think when you look at the 5-on-5 shot attempts percentage, there's a slight edge to the Florida Panthers. That's just a possession metric. But so what Stuart Skinner is doing is really interesting because the Oilers, I feel like in previous years, were always viewed as a team relying on their power play. They were a little bit leaky defensively. There was one game in the series against Dallas, I believe, when Skinner only faced 2 high-danger shots on goal in the whole game, and that's a testament to the defense in front of him. I also think that with the return of Matthias Ekholm, who's their most well-rounded defenseman, they could suppress the shots a little bit. So I like Skinner's chances of winning the series. He actually had a better save percentage last Stanley Cup final compared to Bobrovsky. I believe it was .909 to .899, but a couple of leaky games early on came back to bite them, I guess you could say. But Stuart Skinner is coming in real hot right now, and facing high danger shots where Florida is the best in the league in high danger goals this postseason, but Skinner is .919 save percentage, which is through the roof really over his past 7 games. So he couldn't be hotter right now.
You like the game, any game, and this one in particular tonight to go to overtime?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's possible for sure. It should happen at some point in this series. I saw there were no overtime games last year in 7 games.
Right.
It was a bit lopsided early on. Then Edmonton roared back. Game 7 was a little low scoring. If I was going to lean over or under for the majority of these games, I would lean under. And I think that what a great way to feel each other out would be to go for this game to go to overtime. And whenever those games are high magnitude and, you know, whether it was the Four Nations face-off or some of these, you know, neck-and-neck playoff games, that's never a bad idea to, you know, take the three-way money line and go, you know, hoping for overtime, especially when you can't pinpoint who's going to win the game.
Pete, you got about 30 seconds. Can anyone win the Conn Smythe other than Connor McDavid? I mean, he won it last year when they lost. It feels like he's going to win it if they win. Is there anybody that you like have a thought that could win it?
Yeah, I think there are a couple of guys on Florida. If Florida gets their repeat championship, Bobrovsky has 3 shutouts this postseason. If he gets, you know, another 1 or 2, that would probably seal the deal for him. Barkov's two-way play has been enormous. So I think we're all accustomed to seeing if he shuts down McDavid or at least contains him, there's a chance there. And then a long shot, Brad Marchand, after they acquired him at the deadline.
Yeah, I like that one. Pete, good job as always. Senior Fantasy Director for the NHL, Pete Jensen. Thanks, Pete.
The Knicks really got past that playoff dragon for them that really stood in their way. So for the New York Knicks to be the Celtics and then an outright favorite to win the Eastern Conference Finals, that's where the disappointment is.
The goalposts got moved, right? Because when you went into the Celtics series, a lot of Knicks fans said they weren't going to be this. I'll say this is more unprecedented than the 99 run when they were the 8th seed.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
No one is going to pick Indiana. No one's going to pick Indiana to make it close, honestly. Like, you could get tremendous odds if you pick OKC in 7.
I think that taking the series over 5.5 games, the last 2 NBA Finals series ended in 5. I think this one goes 6. I think the Thunder will get the job done, but I think the Pacers are just too strong of a team and too talented of a team and too deep of a team to lose in 5 or fewer games.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Hour number 1, third segment. You know what time it is. Time for our SGP Same Game Parlay. All right, that is one thing that we did not hit last night, thanks to the Twins not winning the first 5, unfortunately, even though they won 10-3. So right back to the well we'll go, Minnesota and the A's. We're going to grab Minnesota, obviously, minus the 196 2-1. Oh, already? Oh, it's a beautiful thing. Don't go that long if it's Florida. You go nice and short if it's Edmonton. Ugh.
Yeah, well, Leon Draisaitl, 1-0 Edmonton. You know I don't want to mess up the same game parlay talk, but we had to bring it up.
Oh, yeah,
Excellent
absolutely,
goal.
absolutely.
Yeah, a lot of pressure. Edmonton's up 1-0. That's going to move the line. They're going to be over 2-1 favorites. I mean, they're just pouring it on. What were you saying? Sorry to interrupt.
That's all right. We'll give you the details and the updated lines and everything else and who scored, who got there, or Draisaitl scored, but the assists. So Twinkies minus the 2-1. We'll go over 5.5 again, Minnesota. As I mentioned, A's have given up 8 runs or more in 6 straight games. It's a franchise record. We'll go Buxton 2 bases. He got that last night. We'll go Ty France a run. I'm going to use guys at the bottom of the Twinkies batting order because those guys were just as effective last night anyway, and in the series as the guys at the top. And then Royce Lewis 1 run, minus 130. So it's juicy, for guys to score runs that don't generally score, but it's the A's. So add it all up. It's not a great payout, plus 433, but, the boys in Vegas aren't going to give you a break with these Oakland A games. So Minnesota over Twins, Buxton 2 bases, runs out of France and Lewis, plus 433.
Okay. Listen, I mean, we support each other here on the show. You guys watching us, wherever you're watching us. If you are watching us, let us know on the Twitter at SportsGrid. Tag me at SportsBCakeandSig. Tag Scott at Opposite Picks. Let us know what you think. Trying to keep it fair. I wore the Twins stuff just because I thought I had an inkling you might come back to the Twins for either the same game parlay or the Black Cloud play of the night. When I looked at the numbers and went, man, they got to be involved somehow. I don't know. I mean, I don't think you did a big reach with anything really here. I mean, what beats us? One of those batters?
Yeah, one of the batters not scoring a run, maybe. I mean, it does seem like the A's are overdue to have a decent pitching performance as well, right? I mean, sooner or later they have to.
On the road, maybe.
Although in that ballpark,
not at home. Not at home.
Probably not at home, right?
No.
So, again, I think that line, it's tough being an over 2-1 favorite on the road, especially like clubs like Minnesota that don't have the reputation. So it's the actual line, not just like the Dodgers and everyone bets the Dodgers or everyone bets the Yankees. But boy, that seems awfully light, 2-1. I mean, this A's team is just like, they're worse than maybe Colorado, at least the way they're playing right now. I mean, the runs they're giving up.
And they're giving them up in big innings, too. It's not like they just, nickel and dime with a 1 and a 2 and a 1 and 2. There's like a 4 or 5 run inning, seems like every game. So pushes them up and over the total, up over the team total, whoever's hitting. I don't know, Scott. This is one of those ones you just kind of ride the train, just get on board, put it in second gear, cruise down the road, and go, yeah, let's get to the window again. Let's just do what we do. So I like it.
All right. 1-0 Edmonton. Kapanen and Wallman got the assist. Oh, nothing from the great. Yeah, how about our boy?
Here he goes.
Talking about ripping off a scab off a womb. See, this is what I was talking about. He's bringing a top 5 player of all time. I was ready to throw him off the air right then, but I figured I'll be nice tonight. I mean, come on, that's what I'm talking about. This Connor McDavid. We're not throwing him like who's comparing him to Gretzky. That's what they are. So he was not the guy that scores first. Not even an assist. I love the over tonight, by the way.
Yeah, he was trailing the play.
Oh, he's lightning fast. What's he doing trailing the play? This guy's faster than Speedy Gonzalez. He can beat everybody up and down the court blindfolded. And he's trailing the play?
By the way. It's not
Was he lazy?
It's ice. He was trailing the play. He headmanned the puck. You're going to be on this guy. He's going to win the Conn Smythe. You're going to have to apologize at the end of the series. You know that.
Well, that's why he's a joke, because he doesn't deserve it. Like last year, exactly. So, Let's go, Florida.
Jeff Dawson coming up.
Yeah.
The Knicks really got past that playoff dragon for them that really stood in their way. So for the New York Knicks to be the Celtics and then an outright favorite to win the Eastern Conference Finals, that's where the disappointment is.
The goalposts got moved, right? Because when you went into the Celtics series, a lot of Knicks fans said they weren't going to beat it. I'll say this is more unprecedented than the 99 run when they were the 8th seed.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
No one is going to pick Indiana. No one's going to pick Indiana to make it close, honestly. Like, you could get tremendous odds if you pick OKC in 7.
I think that taking the series over 5.5 games, the last 2 NBA Finals series ended in 5. I think this one goes 6. I think the Thunder will get the job done, but I think the Pacers are just too strong of a team and too talented of a team and too deep of a team to lose in 5 or fewer games.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Stanley Cup Finals underway. Edmonton breaks the first goal 3.5 minutes in. So if you had first 10-minute goal, which was minus 164. I love that bet, but I wasn't going to lay that. And they get it in the first 5 minutes. That hit as well. So let's talk a little pucks, a little baseball with our good buddy Jeff Dawson, EastCoastSportsInvestors.com, who just proclaimed the Oilers in 4, obviously drinking the McDavid Kool-Aid. So one more guy that we got to bash down into reality. What's going on, Jeff?
My goal here in this spot is to hear the horn at least once, if not twice, for everyone that has over 1.5. In the first period. I'm excited. I really am for the Cup. I'm excited for a lot of things here. Defending champs versus the face of hockey. That's Connor McDavid, someone that you love very, very much, as you talked about it in the last spot and backstage here. But my point is, they got a whole country trying to break this curse, guys. And what better way to beat the defending champs? A team that had you 3-0 last year that you got to a Game 7. So they get the early goal here. We got the over 5.5. Excuse me, let's backtrack. Team total over 3.5 for Edmonton tonight, plus 120 there. So expect a lot of goals tonight. Let's have some fun here. First 1 to 5 wins the game. How's that sound?
We talked to Pete Jensen earlier, and I mentioned the Conn Smythe Trophy and asked a simple question: could anyone other than Connor McDavid win the Conn Smythe Trophy? You're shaking your head. Do you have a bet on the Conn Smythe Trophy, sir?
We do. We have McDavid plus 110. Listen, if you can lose in 7 and still win the Conn Smythe, we have the Oilers to win the Cup, and I have them in 6. I have some pizza and beer money on them on 5 as well. I don't think it goes 7, guys. I really, really don't. but we had some Draisaitl plus 750. And the cherry on top we talked about on Monday. The best goalie in the planet, Mr. Skinner, at plus 5,000. LOL there. So little pizza and beer money there.
Can they get to 25 goals? Because that was plus 850. David and I talked about that yesterday, some of the goofy props that we were going to play. They had 22 last year, Jeff, and they were shut out in one game and scored one goal in two others. So they had 2 goals in 3 games, and they still got to 22 last year. I'm thinking a plus 850, that's a pretty good play.
Absolutely. And again, don't forget, nothing to lose. You could pull the goalie here, with 4 or 5 minutes left. You can get 2 or 3 empty netters here. I wouldn't be shocked if one of these games is one of those classic 6-5s, 6-4s. A lot of scoring to be had here. They scored in the first 3 minutes here. Both teams getting their sea legs. They know each other inside and out. They played each other last year in this same spot, 7 games. So there's nothing to hide here. So, it's not going to be like that heavyweight first and second round feel them out. I think they dropped the puck and let it go here, guys. So, yeah, plus 850, why not?
All right, swing it to some baseball. I'm wearing the Twins stuff. It's a Rod Carew, if you're curious. But word on the street is that you have something with the A's as part of the plays tonight listed. Is this for real?
Wow.
Because we've been riding this Twins and the game over and all this other stuff with the 5 on the line, the black cloud, all this other. You have A's something, JD?
We were here on Monday. We had the A's team total over, and we got there. Well, today it was funny because it's 4.5. It's not 3.5. It's 4.5. So Vegas with the 10. Hey, listen, the Twins are minus 168 with Z Matthews on the mound. I expect runs early and often, and I expect the A's here to get to 5 or better tonight. I don't care if they win or they lose here. I just need them to get to 5. It's a flat 10 at circa minus 15 cents. So 5-5, lose 6-5 in extra innings. We don't care. But I'm going to say the A's get to 5 tonight, guys.
All right, why not over 10? Because I don't think the A's can get to 5 without it getting over 10, but I think it can get over 10 without the A's getting to 5, if that makes any sense.
Oh, it does. We just take the one less variable out of the equation here. If the final score was Oakland 8 and the Twins 1, we wouldn't get there. It's almost like this afternoon, Alex Cora and the Red Sox on life support here. Nothing better than having over 5.5 first 5 and have the Angels put up 4 and the Red Sox put up 5. And then we had the Red Sox team total over 5.5. So it took a few innings, but they got there. So by taking just one team and a team total instead of the over, I'm just taking one variable out. Same thing as the hockey tonight, Scott. Take the Edmonton team total over 3.5 versus the over 6.
Been a hell of a playoff series, maybe review, NLCS, whatever you want to call it, between the Mets and the Dodgers out west all week. Another good game looks like scheduled for tonight. You got something working here, though, a little bit different. This isn't your normal maybe side total for the game. What do you like in this one?
This game here, guys, was a 9.5 overnight, and it's a flat 10. Dodgers, if they win the game, they're not batting in the 9th unless they come from behind. The under-over in the first 5 is 5.5. It's not 4.5. It's not 5. So we're going to follow Vegas's lead here. We have over 5.5 first 5 there. So they got to get to 6 or better. Maybe you get a Alonso or Lindor homer early, and then Ohtani, Betts, and Freeman match and get us to 3-3 early, and then we'll cash that ticket.
Mm-hmm. How about San Fran and the Padres? Padres beating the Giants 7 straight, but I got a feeling you're going to buck that trend.
We are. They play an afternoon game. They've lost the first 2. They play an afternoon game tomorrow, guys. Overnight, San Fran was favored minus 115. There was a flip. Now it's circa Nick Pivetta in San Diego minus 107. Harrison and San Fran is minus 105. I'm not going to buy the flip here. This San Francisco team's leaking oil. They're having a hard time scoring. I think this will be a lower scoring game here. I think San Fran stops the bleeding here, gets a win, and then comes back in the afternoon tomorrow and maybe can even that series here. So I like San Fran here to bounce back, stop the bleeding, and we had them at minus 105, guys.
It's just quick, and we got probably about a minute. But what is your first thought for the NBA Finals tomorrow? Because I'll tell you what, I haven't found anybody that thinks the Pacers can win other than our one producer, Preston. And anyone that thinks that the series is going to even get to 6 games. You know, this feels like a sweep or OKC in 5. Where are you at with the NBA Finals?
Yeah, I usually don't follow the public, guys, but this to me is a gentleman's sweep. We have the OKC in 5 here. But in the NBA especially, now you got an OKC team that's been sitting around reading its clippings now for over a week here. A Pacer team that likes to score. So it's the pace. Who controls the pace game here? And the underdog, the road dog especially here, has the best chance to win a game outright, usually in game 1. I like the Pacers first half plus the points, and I get a little pizza and beer money on the money line. I like the Pacers to maybe steal the first half, take the crowd out, and if they're going to win a game, I think it's game 1, guys.
I agree. I think they're going to give them a game, Jeff. I really do. Ultimately, do they win? Maybe not, but I don't think it's going to be as one-sided. I think they do win game 1. The Pacers win, put a little scare. It's what the NBA wants, what the public wants, get people to watch. So I think Indiana's a live dog for tomorrow. So, Jeff, great job as always. Get all his picks, EastCoastSportsInvestors.com. Dave and I come back here in a second.
Knicks really got past that playoff dragon for them that really stood in their way. So for the New York Knicks to be the Celtics and then an outright favorite to win the Eastern Conference Finals, that's where the disappointment is.
The goalposts got moved, right? Because when you went into the Celtics series, a lot of Knicks fans said they weren't going to beat it. I'll say this is more unprecedented than the 99 run when they were the 8th seed.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
No one is going to pick Indiana. No one's going to pick Indiana to make it close, honestly. Like, you could get tremendous odds if you pick OKC in 7.
I think that taking the series over 5.5 games, the last 2 NBA Finals series ended in 5. I think this one goes 6. I think the Thunder will get the job done, but I think the Pacers are just too strong of a team and too talented of a team and too deep of a team to lose in 5 or fewer games.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in game live. Game day on the grid. Scott and Dave, hour number 1 of our 2-hour extravaganza. 2 hours extravaganza. Ooh. 2 hours extravaganza. 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 2 ho while we were
There you
away, my guy scores for the Florida Panthers. How about that,
Yes,
Dave?
sir.
1-1. They tie it on a goal that he deflected as he was getting tripped into the goalie. Edmonton challenge. So now they got a power play, does Florida, because a rule that I really do. I flip-flop back and forth, but I think overall I actually like it. I wish there was that rule in the NBA, whereas if you challenge in hockey and if you're unsuccessful, you give the other team a power play. That would be great in the NBA. You challenge your play, you don't get it right, and the other team gets 2 free throws for a technical foul. I would be all for that. I really would. So,
okay. I was
our
going to
boy
say, how
Bennett,
would they do it in the NBA? That would
yeah,
be
they give him
a
a couple free
two-shot
throws.
foul. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Our boy Bennett gets the goal, even though he didn't shoot it, typical hockey goal. But I will tell you, that's why this guy now has 11 goals. He was 11-1. We talked about these bets yesterday. I hope you people put them in. He was 11-1 to score the most goals in the Stanley Cup at 11-1. And then Conn Smythe, he was 33-1. He now has 11 goals. No one else was more than 6 on Florida. I mean, I don't know, unless they just feel compelled to give it to Bobrovsky. This guy's as good as anybody. Maybe he won't win, but at 33-1, when he has 4 more goals than anybody else and now 5, I thought that was a pretty smart bet. I hate the phrase value, but we're off to a good start.
You did it. You just did it.
I
You
know.
used the value word
I know.
right there. Oh,
I know.
What a play! Crank it up again, Vincenzo. Oh my goodness!
Wow, we got him at 60-1 for the Conn Smythe.
This Marchand. Wow, great pass, opposite dot, top shelf. Good night.
Stuart Skinner is back to being Stuart Skinner.
He had no chance on that. That wasn't Stuart Skinner's fault at all.
Where was the great Connor McDavid on that play? How come he wasn't blocking somebody?
Not on the ice. Wasn't on the ice.
Cupcake. Gretzky would have been on the ice.
Well,
wide open was Marchand.
Yeah, Marchand finished it.
That really would suck if he ends up winning. Even though I got a 60-1 ticket on him, but as a Bruins fan, that would be tough. But they like him down there at least.
Yeah, that's what Florida does. I mean, they go and they make these acquisitions and, get a guy who's been there, done it, can help. I don't know. I don't think it would suck at all, at least for the storyline or for hockey or for anybody with a Panthers ticket. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Wow. That was a really fast start. I mean, this is what's the in-game number now? Got to be 8.5.
8.5. Yeah. 8.5 plus 114. Panthers now favored minus 188. I'm telling you, that's why I said in 6, but I really, I said it wouldn't surprise me in 5. I just think they're the better team. If it was 2-2-1, Game 5 was back in Florida, I would have said Florida in 5. But since Game 5 is in Edmonton, I pushed it off to 6. But I think they're the better team. So
Edmonton's done this before. They've been down before. You heard Pete. They've come back, before. So it's far from over. This is not over yet. It's 2-1, a perfect start for Florida. There's a reason they're only minus 180. On the money line, because it goes right back to pick if Edmonton scores the next goal. It goes up big though. Florida, if they get up 2 goals, this statistic in the playoffs, the last 2 years, if they get up 2 goals, Scott, they're 23-0. It's a wrap.
Wow!
If they get up 2 goals, they don't give up 2-goal leads. They win the game. So.
23-0.
We got to, So we'll keep that in mind here. Now that they're up 2-1, they make it 3-1. It doesn't mean that Edmonton won't come back and tie it, but it means that Florida hasn't lost when they've had a 2-goal lead in the playoffs in the last 2 years.
I tell you what, this team is better on the road. We've seen this with other clubs.
Yeah.
This one in particular. They have 3 4-goal, and I'm not going to say they're going to win by 4 tonight, but just pointing out how good they play on the road. First of all, they're 8-2 on the road this postseason. They've outscored their opponents 48-21, and they got 3 4-goal or better road wins, which is I think ties the record. It's not that they're bad at home, but them being on the road, they won 5 straight road games heading into this one. I don't know. It would be goofy. I don't want to, again, jinx it. they would be just the third team to win the Cup despite not having home ice advantage in any series. Found that one out from
wow.
I think Joe Madden gave me that one over the weekend. Yeah. So it's pretty good. And they've been favored. Well, this one they were technically underdogs, but they were favored.
Correct.
You know, at least to start the series, they were a slight favorite, which just goes to show.
Matt gave me this one today when we did BVB. Favorites are 18-4 in the last 22 Stanley Cups. So I mean, it's a small favorite.
Really?
Edmonton. Yeah. So this would be a big, not upset because of the odds aren't that big, but favorites have won. My counterbalance to that.
Well, you mean the series? The series, not the games.
Yes,
not the
series.
Okay,
yes,
I think about the games. Okay.
No,
18-4. Wow.
18-4. Yeah. But the favorites have been significant favorites. I mean, we've had a lot of favorites that were minus 150 or more. So that doesn't really hold here. There's a parade to the penalty box right now, Scott. I don't know what's going on, but there's another penalty for Florida. Yeah, it was just a completely ridiculous interference play. Not whether it was a dive or not, I don't know. But so yeah, there was another penalty. So now it's Edmonton has a 4-on-3 power play. Oh boy. With 6.5 minutes to go. So see if that affected the number.
Oh, he did grab him. What's he doing?
Yeah,
Jesus.
he did. Oh, it was a penalty. Minus 160 plus 130. So they dropped to 20 cents just on that. I don't even want to say a word. Pirates are winning 3-0 at the top of the ninth. Let's get 3 outs. Can we get 3 outs? They don't score last night when Skeens pitches. They get 3 tonight. They're winning 3-0. Let's hold on and win that one. Nationals 2-0 over the Cubs. Top of the ninth as well. Yankees trailing the Guardians 3-0, bottom of 6. Phillies and Blue Jays locked in a big game, 1-1, bottom of 7.
All right, more coming up. Black Cloud play of the day.
Knicks really got past that playoff dragon for them that really stood in their way. So for the New York Knicks to be the Celtics and then an outright favorite to win the Eastern Conference Finals, that's where the disappointment is.
The goalposts got moved, right? Because when you went into the Celtics series, a lot of Knicks fans said they weren't going to beat it. I'll say this is more unprecedented than the 99 run when they were the 8th seed.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
No one is going to pick Indiana. No one's going to pick Indiana to make it close, honestly. Like, you could get tremendous odds if you pick OKC in 7.
I think that taking the series over 5.5 games, the last 2 NBA Finals series ended in 5. I think this one goes 6. I think the Thunder will get the job done, but I think the Pacers are just too strong of a team and too talented of a team and too deep of a team to lose in 5 or fewer games.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Still 2-1 Florida as the Oilers just messed up on a 4-on-3 power play. They don't score, so they're skating 4-aside. Well, now it's 5-aside. So 2-1. Late the first period. We'll keep you posted on that final segment, hour number 1. So time for our Black Cloud Play of the Day. All right, we're on a nice little roll here. 6-1, at least 6-1. Anyway, the last week and a half heading into tonight's play. And, we have many sayings here, Dave, on the in-game live. And one of them is just don't make this stuff harder than it has to be. And that's pretty simple, but, you'd be surprised how many gamblers do make it harder. And I say that just because we're going to go with Minnesota, right? They're taking on the Athletics, who have lost 19 of 20. They've been outscored 163-69. That's almost now at a 3-1 pace, at least 2.5 anyway. They've given up 44 home runs, a ton of runs. They can't win at home. They're 2-12 their last 14 home games. Oddly enough, Minnesota and one other team, which would be a surprise, little pop quiz later on who's not yet hit a grand slam. Twinkies are one of them. Maybe it comes tonight. I don't know. But I think they get the win. Minus 196. Won't even lay the run and a half. We're playing with house money. We're up 22 games, 42-20 with our Black Cloud Play of the Days. And like I said, 6-1 our last 7. So give me Minnesota tonight, right? At the Sacramento, at the Athletics, minus the 196, 2-1.
Sometimes in-game live feels like a well-oiled machine. We have you and me as the host. We got a great crew of guys in the back between Vincenzo, Matty G, Preston, Matt D, Patrick, and it just flows. I didn't have a clue that you were going to use the Black Cloud Play of the Night on the Minnesota Twins tonight, but I said, you know what? I'm wearing the Twins stuff in case he does, because this has got to win again. So we're rolling. You're rolling. Let's keep it rolling with the Minnesota Twins tonight. I like run out of stats. We've run out of things to possibly say. The game starts at 7:05 Pacific, 10:05 Eastern. Hopefully we get out to an early lead. Yesterday they made us sweat a little bit. 5 innings. It was tight 2-1. Then they broke it open. So that's good. I don't know anything about the pitcher, though, that the A's are throwing. They changed the pitcher. It was supposed to be Springs, and now it's Sterner, something like that. I have no idea. Don't know the first thing about him. I don't know if our next guest, Ian McMillan, will know anything about him. But, I mean, we're going to talk to him about the hockey, so we'll get to that. The hockey's been good, Scott. This has been a really good first period, especially if you have the over.
Yeah. I'll say this about this Sterner dude. He's a reliever. So, and not only is he a reliever, he has only gone more than one inning 3 times. So, and everything's been 2 innings or less. So he's not like a middle reliever where he can go 4 or 5. He's a reliever, which you know what that means. It's another bullpen by committee game for the A's.
More relievers.
Which means more relievers. More bad relievers. So
I love it.
This team is crying for the All-Star break. You just, please get us you got another month, Ace. You got a long ways to go. So.
You got basically 6 weeks. I mean, you got to get to mid-July. So that's not they're just hoping to get maybe back on the road. Like, playing at home can't be any fun right now. The way they're giving up runs, the way the balls are flying out for the other teams. Yeah, it can't be fun to be playing at home right now for the A's.
Yeah. Here are the goal scores for Florida. They came back-to-back so quickly, less than 2 minutes apart. Bennett scores first to tie the game at 1. Verhaeghe and Kachuk got the assists. And then Marchand on a power play a minute and a half later. Nate Schmidt and Evan Rodriguez. I like it. He's a good player, solid player. Always comes up to play in the postseason. Gets the assist. So 2-1 Florida. They play with 3 minutes left to go in the first. So some pretty big names. You got Draisaitl scored for Edmonton. If you played him. Kapanen and Wallman with the assist, not nothing much there, but Verhaeghe, Kachuk, Bennett, Marchand, Rodriguez, those are all big names for Florida. So if you played points or assists or goals, you should be pretty happy 2-1 late in the first.
Tell you what, Edmonton's flying as far as the puck in Florida's end. I mean, they have 15 shots.
Yeah. Look
15
at the shots
to 5 for Edmonton so far. Bobrovsky's answered the bell. He's been on top of the crease, making save after save after save, really limited rebounds. It's going to be a great hockey game. Settle in, people.
Yeah.
If you're not watching the hockey, this has been pretty good.
Long from over. Long. I think Florida's going to win,
yeah.
but if I liked Edmonton, I would bet Edmonton right now. You know, getting odds. I think I hit my 2 shots on gold parlay already, believe it or not. Hour number 2 coming up next.
The Knicks really got past that playoff dragon for them that really stood in their way. So for the New York Knicks to be the Celtics and then an outright favorite to win the Eastern Conference Finals, that's where the disappointment is.
The goalposts got moved, right? Because when you went into the Celtics series, a lot of Knicks fans said they weren't going to beat it. I'll say this is more unprecedented than the 99 run when they were the 8th seed.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
No one is going to pick Indiana. No one's going to pick Indiana to make it close, honestly. Like, you could get tremendous odds if you pick OKC in 7.
I think that taking the series over 5.5 games, the last 2 NBA Finals series ended in 5. I think this one goes 6. I think the Thunder will get the job done, but I think the Pacers are just too strong of a team and too talented of a team and too deep of a team to lose in 5 or fewer games.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back. It is in-game live game day, hour number 2 of our 2-hour extravaganza. Scott, Dave, until 10 p.m. Eastern time, watching Stanley Cup action. We got some baseball games. We got the Canadian Open and golf starting as well. So let's talk a little pucks, little golf with our next guest, Ian McMillan, writes for Sports Illustrated, great magazine website, and host of the Bacon Bets podcast. How cool a name is that?
Yes.
What's going on, Ian, Scott, and Dave? How are you tonight, bud?
Yeah, thanks for having me on, guys. Yeah, I'm doing well. I could be doing a little bit better if my hockey bets were going a little bit better right now. Not a great start for the Oilers and the under. Some would say this is a disastrous start for the Oilers in the under, but we're still alive.
That would actually qualify. Oilers in under, not good, 2-1. Although they got 15 shots on goal.
Yes.
Prior to this disaster, Ian, you said you liked the Oilers to win, not just tonight, but to win the whole thing. You're on the Oilers?
I do like the Oilers a lot. There's a few reasons why I think this year is going to be a little bit different than last year. I think throughout the playoffs, I think we've seen the Oilers get a little bit better play from the supporting cast. Last year in the playoffs, it was basically all McDavid and Draisaitl. Throughout the postseason so far this year, the supporting cast has contributed a little bit more. Stuart Skinner has obviously played better since he got the starting job handed back to him halfway through the Golden Knights series. And also just from an X's and O's standpoint, and I think it's why the Panthers got off to such a hot start in last year's Cup final and the Oilers were able to come back, is the Panthers play a very aggressive counterattack style of hockey, and I think it threw the Oilers off last year early in the series. I think they figured out how to counter the counter, and that was a big reason why they are able to win 3 straight games and force a Game 7. So I think they're a lot more prepared this time around to face the style of hockey that the Panthers play. And yeah, like you said, it's 2-1. The Oilers are out shooting them 15-5. I actually like how the Oilers have played through the first period. I think a couple of bad bounces have gone against them, but I do like the Oilers quite a bit. I wouldn't mind. I don't have the live odds in front of me, but I think a live bet on the Oilers wouldn't be bad. I would not live bet the under, though. This game has been a lot more wide open than I expected. Yeah. It's always going to be tough betting game one of a playoff series.
Yeah, especially when you've had a week off. I always equate this to like the All-Star break, where whether it's NBA or NHL or maybe even Major League Baseball, you have those 4, 5, 6 days off, and but you get your legs back. You come out flying, which is why I did like the over tonight. They're plus 150. I always try to put a couple shekels aside. My original bet, if it doesn't go well, that I like to double down. So you're not getting great value, plus 150 down, one goal after one. But would you double down then on Edmonton for tonight?
Yeah, I would like an Edmonton live bet here. I think they're probably going to come out pretty strong here in the second period. And there's another player. There is a player I think good to bet. I have an anytime goal scorer bet on him for tonight, and I think he's going to be a good guy to target throughout the series as well. And that's Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, who had an unbelievable Western Conference final against the Dallas Stars. If you look at stats like expected goals, he's actually second on the entire Oilers team in expected goals throughout the playoffs. But yet you're still getting a guy at plus 275, almost 3-1 odds to find the back of the net. You can also look at the shots on goal market, some nice odds there on him in that market as well. So even if I lose Oilers in the under, if I could get a Nugent-Hopkins goal here sometime in the next two periods, I'll walk away with a little bit of a profit. So I do think he's going to have a big series. One of the reasons why the Oilers, I think, look a little bit better this year than they did this time last year.
I like it. All right. Well, we got a little bit of pause in the hockey. It's 2-1 after one, so we got break in between periods. Let's swing it over to some golf. We saw some golf paraphernalia in your background. I like this. They're playing up there this week, right? This is the Canadian Open. So you gave us a list of, it looks like, Ian's best PGA bets, sir. I'm going to let you put the tee in the ground, put the ball on there, grab your driver, and swing away, sir.
Yeah, this is a big event for myself and my fellow Canadians. It's our National Open. It's a Canadian Open. It's held at TPC Toronto this year, which is actually nearby me. So I'll be there covering the event the next 4 days. So I'm very excited for this. Main thing bettors need to know about TPC Toronto. We've never seen a PGA Tour event there, but it's a very long course. So I think you're mainly going to want to target guys who are long off the tee. Bombers only this week, or if they're not long off the tee, at the very least, they're good with their long irons, which leads me to my two favorite outright bets to win this week. Number one is Shane Lowry, the Irishman. Now, he's not long off the tee, but he is very good with his long irons. He's actually first on the PGA Tour in proximity to the hole when his approach shot is between 200 and 225 yards. That's going to play a big role this week. And he's just played too well the entire season to not get a win. And now in this week's field, it's not a signature event. It's not a major. It's a little bit of a weaker field. We have some big names, but it is a little bit of a weaker field. I think this is a week that Shane Lowry can take advantage of. And listen, I'm a Canadian. It's the Canadian Open. I'm obligated to bet on a Canadian to get it done. Nick Taylor did it for Canada 2 years ago. This year, I'm back in Taylor Pendrith, who no one has played TPC Toronto more than Taylor Pendrith. He's there all the time. It's almost like his home course. He actually competed here in a PGA Tour Canada event in 2019 where he finished runner-up. And this is a course that fits his style of play perfectly. He's extremely long off the tee. He's good with his long irons. And like I said earlier, he knows this course better than anyone else. And he's coming into this event in extremely good form. T5 at the PGA Championship a couple weeks ago. T12 at the Memorial Tournament, a signature event last week. So he checks every box. Good form, good course history, and he fits the course pretty well. So those are my top two picks to win. I also like Ryan Fox, first-round leader, 19th in the PGA Tour in round one scoring average. If you want a long shot, I think one of the Højgaard twins would be a good look. They're both long off the tee. I'm going with Rasmus and Nikolai Norgard to finish in the top 20 at 3-1. Another guy who's long off the tee. If you just target guys who can hit the ball a mile off the tee this week at the Canadian Open, you're going to win some bets.
I noticed they've been doing, with Scotty Scheffler, Ian being so dominant, is making these bets, at least on FanDuel, of winner without Scotty Scheffler. And this week they're doing it, since Scheffler's not playing, without Rory McIlroy. And I'm looking at the odds. They dropped them obviously a little bit, but, not as much as I thought. Is it worth putting a half a play on those guys to win, and then maybe a half a play or a quarter of a play or anything on without Rory McIlroy to win, since you're getting pretty similar odds.
Yeah, you certainly could. I'm personally not doing that because I don't love the form that Rory's been in recently. His approach play hasn't been great of late, but he has won the Canadian Open twice already in his career. They were at different courses. They weren't at TPC Toronto, but he has won in Canada before. And this course does fit his style well. I just said you have to be a good driver to play well at this course, and no one drives the ball better than Rory McIlroy. But his approach play makes me a little concerned that I don't think he's worth actually the price that he's at. So I didn't bet that winner without Rory market, but if anyone does bet that market, I wouldn't blame you whatsoever because, nothing would be more frustrating than have a big outright bet on a guy who finishes second place to the obvious favorite in McIlroy. But not a market I'm targeting. I will be betting the without Scottie Scheffler market at the U.S. Open next week, though. I guarantee that, because that's Scottie Scheffler might run away with that one.
Yeah, you have to leave him out. So you're there. This is going to be good. You're up there. What's the weather going to be like? You got about 15 seconds. What are you expecting? Heat? Everything fine? What do we got? Wind?
Tomorrow morning is going to be rainy, so expect some low scores due to some soft conditions. Tomorrow afternoon, once the guys tee off, I expect the opening tee shot's going to be a little bit delayed, but then it's going to be nice the rest of the week. So expect some low scores, though, Thursday once the guys get on the course.
Ian, great job, man. Do appreciate it. Check out all his work, Sports Illustrated. Obviously, it's sportsillustrated.com. Yeah. And also check out his podcast, Bacon Bets podcast, at your favorite little podcast stores. Ian, great job, man. Hope to do it again soon. Good luck with your plays.
Thank you so much, guys. Take care. Good luck.
In-game live continues here on the Grid.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this one? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
Rearranging that ring. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of
18.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip, try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Dave, Stanley Cup Finals, Game 1. Getting set to start the second period here in about 5 minutes or so. See if we can find a couple of plays. Do want to put out a poll question, a basic, first grade question for tonight. I get that, but who's winning the Stanley Cup? Sent that out a little while ago. So it's dead even. How about that? 42.4% for Florida, 42.4% for Edmonton. Not sure, 3%, and then don't care, don't like the NHL at 12.1%. So check out the opposite picks, Sports BK Consig, and then the SportsGrid Twitter feed. Get your vote in. We'll update that at least one more time before we are through. So odd that we'd have a decent amount of votes and still tied. Go ahead.
You always get the people that will tell you that now. Like when you get to the Stanley Cup final and they'll tell you 12%, whatever it is, 10% will say, you know what, I don't watch hockey. Okay, that's fine. But the line is reflective of the poll. Usually we get disparity, right? Where when we put these things out, something votes like different than what the odds reflect. This is a pick'em series.
Right.
So it's pretty good that we got that number of votes and we got all that stuff, and it's that close. I like when it reflects what the odds are. Maybe that's the odds maker in me, a former odds maker, whatever it is. I got to mention right now, too, in addition to the poll, go vote on that. Tweet at us if you're out watching the show or hanging out, because, we get these tweets, during the show like this from Eddie Petzold. Yo, fellas, grilling out with the fam, listening on the app. Love the show, and I got Oilers and Draisaitl, wow, for a hat trick. Okay, Eddie.
Whoa.
Eddie's taking a shot. How about that? Yeah.
Whoa.
Draisaitl for a hat trick. That's a big payout right there. So hopefully Eddie's not letting anything burn on the grill. Thanks for listening to us. We appreciate you, and anyone else that's listening on the app, go download the app at SportsGrid. And you can listen, watch it later, watch it live, do this. So this is good. What do you think Edmonton's thinking right now after that first period, Scott?
If I'm the Edmonton coach, Knobloch, I'm telling them, don't worry, boys. You know what? We got it right where we want them. We peppered Bobrovsky with 15 shots on goal. Just keep it up. They're going to go in. I'm a little disappointed. See, personally, again, this is just me. But when I got a 4-on-3 power play, I'm pulling the goaltender, skating 5-on-3, and I'm telling you, I'm going to score a goal. But they don't do that. They don't score. With the great Draisaitl and McDavid, I mean, you really thought they would have scored 4-on-3, but they didn't. But if I'm them, I'm like, oh, no problem. 2-1. They got a fluky goal that shouldn't have counted. So and we got 15 shots on goal. They had, 6 or 7 only? So yep. Status quo, I'm not changing anything crazy. That's the question I have for you as far as they give us Bobrovsky saves. It's at 29.5. Now, it's 24.5 to start the game. Dude's got 14 already. Is he not going to get 16 more, especially with Florida leading and playing, yes, maybe conservative defensively, but conservative offensively? Like, I don't expect them to have a ton of shots on goal. Did they go into the locker room saying, boys, we gave up 15 shots on goal. We can't allow this. This is crazy. We don't give up 15 shots the entire game. Or is it just one of those games and you bet the over 20? Now it's down to 28.5. They lowered it by 1 as we speak. Oof.
Yeah, I think the shots on goal adjustments, it's a pretty big challenge to do for, an in-game number, odds maker type thing. I'm surprised it's not 30, but making it 29.5 made sense, right? Because he's going to get 30 saves. That's why things are priced $2.99 instead of $3. You know what I mean? It just puts you right up close to it. So do you want to go over or under that number? I would expect Florida to go into the locker room going, you know what? We got to block some shots, fellas. Like, we can't let them just keep doing this, because Bob bailed us out, made all the saves, except the first one. It wasn't really his fault. That puck he had no shot on. But he's making the initial saves, and they're not getting rebounds. It's only a matter of time. If you keep giving up those shots on goal, they're going to lead to rebound chances, and then you get Edmonton right back in this game. So I would expect less shots on goal, obviously, than 15. But if they get 10 in the second period, Scott, it's 25.
Right.
Right? Like, I mean, I don't think that's much to ask to get over 28.5 at this point. I thought the adjustment would be higher after a 15-shot first period, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's a lot. I mean, that's not a lot. I mean, again, especially when Edmonton is trailing. So, if they're up 2-3 goals, they call up the dogs a little bit. But how about second period shots on goal? You could do a parlay on FanDuel. The great Connor McDavid, obviously, right? Draisaitl, McDavid. Evander Kane doesn't have any. You want to throw a Florida Panther in there, or you want to go Bouchard? Where's Daniel Nurse? He's usually pretty good. He's plus 102. You do that. McDavid, Draisaitl, and Nurse. Well, you know what? McDavid and Draisaitl's plus 105. Forget everybody else. McDavid has 2. Draisaitl has 2 already.
I mean, throw Bouchard in there. No, Bouchard's getting shots on goal. He has 2 already. He's getting another one.
All right. Well, it's got to be third period or second period, but yeah. Where's Bouchard? Okay, minus 154. That would bring it to plus 232. I like this.
Not bad.
You get the 3 big boys. That's not bad, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Again, it all goes back to, do you think Florida's going to protect to change things after giving up so many shots, or is it going to be same as it was before? Even if it is, these guys can get a shot on goal.
So wait, how many power plays did Edmonton have? Edmonton had
just the one.
2 power plays. 2 power plays,
2?
0 for 2. Yep. Yeah, 2 power plays. The hits were almost even. So I don't know. That's not a bad play. If we get a power play, I don't want to say it's a done deal. But if you get an Edmonton power play, 2 of those guys are going to get a shot on goal, most likely. And then we just need the rest of the period to get the other one. That's a pretty good parlay. Shots on goal parlay.
Yeah.
Is that our first one ever live? I think that's our first one ever live.
Could be. Yeah. Second period, we got McDavid, Draisaitl, and Bouchard to get a shot on goal, plus 232.
The Knicks really got past that playoff dragon for them that really stood in their way. So for the New York Knicks to be the Celtics and then an outright favorite to win the Eastern Conference Finals, that's where the disappointment is.
The goalposts got moved, right? Because when you went into the Celtics series, a lot of Knicks fans said they weren't going to beat it. I'll say this is more unprecedented than the 99 run when they were the 8th seed.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
No one is going to pick Indiana. No one's going to pick Indiana to make it close, honestly. Like, you could get tremendous odds if you pick OKC in 7.
I think that taking the series over 5.5 games, the last 2 NBA Finals series ended in 5. I think this one goes 6. I think the Thunder will get the job done, but I think the Pacers are just too strong of a team and too talented of a team and too deep of a team to lose in 5 or fewer games.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back to Game Live. Game day here on the grid. Scott and Dave, they are underway. Second period. Just got enough time to get our second period shot on goal parlay in the pace over 2-1. So we got the big boys, Bouchard, Draisaitl, and McDavid for the Oilers, who do trail 2-1 starting the second period. So the lines on the game opened up at Edmonton as a slight favorite. And right now it is Florida minus 194, the over-under, which was 6.5 plus money. Got 3 goals in the first period. Now they're giving you 7.5 plus 146, like really good plus money. So now you were one that liked Edmonton, so I'll ask you the same question I asked Ian. Would you double down on the Oilers right now?
I liked Florida. You're not even listening to me. I like Florida to win the series. What are you talking
Well,
about?
you
Don't
like
put that
Connor
on me.
McDavid. Well, good thing you said
think
that.
Connor McDavid's
Where's
one
the
of the best
blowhorn?
players in the game. Yes, but I
Where's
like
the horn?
Florida. Can we just do another one?
Oh, my goodness, am I a genius or what? Am I a freaking genius or what? 33-1, we're going to cash this ticket. There's no way in the world this guy's not going to now get the Conn Smythe. 33-1 for their leading scorer by far. What were the boys in Vegas? What was your boys doing, Dave? He got 10 goals coming in. No one else had more than 6. And he was 33-1 to be voted Conn Smythe MVP? Makes no sense. Did he really get the second goal? Or third goal?
Yes, he did.
The second?
Yes, he did.
Wow.
Yep. 3-1 Florida. 2 minutes into the second period. They're now 5-1 favorites. The in-game totals back up to 8.5.
He was on sides?
Turn into a 2-on-1. We'll see. Yeah, I mean,
I
it looks
don't
like
know. I don't know.
You think he was offsides?
Yeah, I think he was offsides. Now, my TV's a minute and a half behind, but he was way ahead. I know they dragged a foot, but look at this. Maybe not. Close.
They didn't even
What do you
challenge
think?
it. It's done. Drop the
They
puck.
did?
That's it. No,
Let's
it's
see.
done.
Wow, I
Forget
gotta
it.
tell you. I hope TNT does like a replay real slow. Let me see. No. That's not. I don't want to see the goal, you dopes. Show us the blue line. Are these guys watching the game? I mean, I'm surprised, boy. That looked to the naked eye like he was offsides.
Yeah.
You know what's sad? We won't get it on TNT, but we'll get it on Twitter 5 minutes from now. You want to bet somebody? Oh, look at this. Where's the horn?
Oh no! Again?
Edmonton's not done. Edmonton's not done.
Wow! Look at that.
Edmonton.
What an answer! What an answer! Who was it?
Love
I didn't
the
see
over
it yet.
tonight. Me neither. I see the Oilers having it in their own end.
Wow. Okay.
This is gonna be a great series. I feel
Just
bad
a
for who's that?
Victor
We know
Arvidsson, left wing.
Aardvark.
Let's see. Did we get an assist?
Did we get at least an
No, we
assist?
didn't even
Oh
get
my
an
goodness.
assist. No.
Vasily.
Oh, that was not a good goal.
Oh.
Jeez, that was
No?
not a good goal. No, not a good goal for Bobrovsky to let up. No.
That's
That just
good- that's
brought them
good,
right back
actually.
into the game. Here we go. Yeah. So a lot of things flying over.
Yep.
This is 16 and a half minutes left now. 3-2 Florida. And boy, is it Bennett's got 2 goals. Everyone else different goal scorer. Draisaitl, Marchand, Arvidsson, and Bennett with 2. Scoreboard is lit up. Players all over the place. Yeah, I guess it was a screen. He didn't see it. Went off his glove. Looked like he should have had it. So we got a game.
The old Bobrovsky
We got a
would
game,
have it.
Wetzel. We got a
Yeah.
game.
The old Bob.
This is good.
The old Bob would have saved that one.
The old Bob would have saved it. What are
Yeah.
you talking about?
That is over the hill.
He
it
is?
even hit him.
Jeez.
Well, he won't be. That's okay. This is what we need. We need goals because the more goals, the less chance of Bobrovsky winning the Conn Smythe. So this is actually, I don't want to win 5-1. I want to win 5-4.
Okay.
And then betting, you know. You know, it's funny. You know, we were in commercial, but what I was going to say is what I'd like to do is bet everyone that scored in the first period to score again to get a second goal. It's just like when you get that feel, and lo and behold, he had it. And they were paying like 4.5 to 1. It wasn't great. But I would bet now Bennett for the Stanley Cup. Now, we had that bet. By the way, if you listen to us, we got that plus 155. It's not great, but someone to get a hat trick, we could cash that in the first game. How about that? All right, more coming up. EJ Live.
The Knicks really got past that playoff dragon for them that really stood in their way. So for the New York Knicks to be the Celtics and then an outright favorite to win the Eastern Conference Finals, that's where the disappointment is.
The goalposts got moved, right? Because when you went into the Celtics series, a lot of Knicks fans said they weren't going to beat it. I'll say this is more unprecedented than the 99 run when they were the 8th seed.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
No one is going to pick Indiana. No one's going to pick Indiana to make it close, honestly. Like, you can't really, you could get tremendous odds if you pick OKC in 7.
I think that taking the series over 5.5 games, the last 2 NBA Finals series ended in 5. I think this one goes 6. I think the Thunder will get the job done, but I think the Pacers are just too strong of a team and too talented of a team and too deep of a team to lose in 5 or fewer games.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Dave, hour number 2 of our 2-hour extravaganza. So, second period, 3-2, and we still got, 13 minutes left to go. So, taking a look, Dave, at some of our pre-series prop plays that we just kind of threw in for blanks and giggles, right? So, hat trick by anybody, plus 155. We got Bennett already with 2 tonight, so he's got a shot, obviously. Total goals in this series, 35.5. We're on pace for a good, you got 5 already? I would say conservatively 8 or 9, maybe 9 tonight, which is, you need at least one, right? One crazy game to compensate maybe for a 3-1 game later on down the line, but keep the goals coming. So that's looking pretty good. 3 goals in every game, that's already hit. 4 goals in every game, that's already hit tonight. And then the only one that hasn't looked good, naturally, Connor McDavid, 14 points to break the record. I'm still surprised it's only 13. I really am. But leave it to Connor McDavid. We got nothing but winners, except for the Connor McDavid prop. Somehow or another, 5 goals, he hasn't had a role in any of them, except giving up some. Right.
This will fuel that fire for you and all the other Connor McDavid, naysayers, so to say. That's fine. We got a lot of time left. I really think that 3-goal in every game bet. I mean, I don't say it too often, and you guys know from watching the show, and from doing the show with me, the boys in the back, from me being on the show. I don't usually a lot of times say I really, really like this bet, but I told you yesterday, How are there not going to be 3 goals in every game? You watching this game? I mean, there's going to be 3 combined goals in every game. If they're going to play like this, now it's going to tighten up. It's a first game, and they've all been off. So after a couple, games, and the dislike starts to happen, and the ice starts to shrink a little bit, there may be a little bit of sweat, but there is no way that there's going to be a game that doesn't get 3 goals. I will be shocked. I'll come on here and say I was completely wrong, but I think that's a really good bet.
Yeah. I will say they've done this before. I don't know why, but it didn't hurt our bet as far as getting a shot on goal from McDavid, Draisaitl, and Bouchard. But I think Bouchard got one already. They took one away from McDavid.
Oh.
He now only has one.
Oh.
I don't know how. We've seen that so many times, Dave. That's got to bug the books to no end that give these cash outs, right? I mean, if someone had a cash out of a bet that had McDavid, pick 3 guy, 4 guy, whatever, and McDavid is one of the guys getting 2 shots on goal like I have, you cash out, and then you find out later on that they took one away, and maybe the bet wouldn't have won anyway, and you're sitting there with a cash out, you're happy, but the book is like, what the fudge? We gave you a cash out thinking that the guy had 2 shots on goal, and now the officials get together. It's amazing.
You're giving me agita thinking about it, because these are the things that used to drive us crazy in the room, because you had to grade stuff. The goal was to grade stuff as soon as you could, because you wanted the churn. Right. You wanted to get it in there, and hopefully, somebody would make another bet. So, yeah, as you're sitting there watching, you're like, oh, he's got 3 shots on goal already. Yeah, grade that over 2.5, whatever it is. Just grade that a winner. And then it goes through, and the money goes through, and all this other stuff. Yeah, that's that. I don't know. Everything's automated now, so there might be a fail-safe in there that you don't grade it until it's actually 10 minutes been decided. The shots on goal props, I wouldn't grade until after the game. I would just, if it was our book, I'd say we'll wait for the official score sheet after the game. I don't care about what you're doing in game, but I don't know. There's a lot of ways to do it. That's you gave me agita. I don't want to have agita. I don't need it on a Tuesday. We're good.
Yeah. Why does that happen? I don't remember that happening a little bit in the regular season, but I've seen it happen several times in the postseason, many times.
Yeah.
It's just
I don't know. I don't remember that really ever happening, but now with the betting and the odds being available for everything right instantaneously on our phones, it is different. I don't remember shots on goal being such a not haphazardly done stat, but when it was given, it was kept. Shot on goal was a shot on goal. Now, we'll take a shot on goal away. That was add one later. What? It's a shot on goal or not? It's simple. Yeah. It's supposed to be easy. It's supposed to be an easy stat to keep. I don't know why that would even change.
Crazy. All right. So 3-2, 8.5 minutes now left, and now the line's up to minus 225, plus 182 on Edmonton, and the over-under is back to 8.5. So keep your fingers crossed. Everyone wins when you get a lot of goals. Very few people bet unders in these games. Not like the goal total, but props, shots on goal, all those goofy plays. No one's betting unders on those. We're all betting overs. So let's get a nice fat 9-8 Florida win tonight, and we'll be okay. So baseball stuff real quickly. I think your Pirates won 3-0 tonight. Did they not?
Yes, they did. Would have been nice to actually win when Skeens pitches, but we'll take a 3-0 win. That's fine.
Yeah. And the Red Sox won today. Oh, what a disaster they are. They lead half of their losses, Dave. I watched the post-game show on NESN. Half of their losses this season, 34, have come by 1 run, which is the most in baseball. They have 7 extra inning losses, which is the most in baseball. Ooh. They have the most errors, more than Colorado, the most this season in baseball. And they got the most errors in baseball over the last 3 years or 2.5 years since 2023 combined. So, or 1.5 seasons. Yeah, 2.5. Yeah, 23, 24, and then this year.
Yeah.
And that's what led Alex Cora yesterday say things aren't changing.
Stuff like that's hard to fix. That's the problem. Yeah. Right?
You don't practice.
When you get in that rut. 1-run games, sometimes, one season they go one way, another season they majority go the other way. It's really hard. But the errors thing got to be fixed. I mean, you can't keep giving away outs. That usually results in bad innings and, high scoring games. Today's game, they were down. They came back and won 11-9. But my goodness, you're talking about the bullpen. Not good. They give up a ton of runs. So we got Cam Stewart coming on next. That's good because the Blue Jays won 2-1 tonight against the Phillies.
Yep.
So hopefully Cam will be in a good mood. That was a good game. They scored one in the bottom of the ninth to win that. So a walk-off. Very good.
Yeah, they're playing,
Single
they're
to
playing
center.
decent ball.
Yep.
They're playing, I think this is now 6-1, their last 7. So we were talking about it in the break. The American League is so bad this year that, all these teams playing 500, they're all going to be in it. Now, obviously, they're not all going to make it, but you play 500 in the American League, and you're right there, for better or worse. Really is a bad league. I'm so disappointed in the NL or AL West. I really thought, Houston was going to be good. I like Texas. I still like Texas. I thought they were going to be better. I thought Seattle would be okay, and they're at least 5 games over 500, but still, and then the Angels and A's, not so much with them. But I actually was encouraged a little bit with Oakland the last month and a half of the season. But in reality, how many teams do you have over 500? Or like really like not 2, 3, 4, like 6, 7 games over 500. You got one, the Yankees,
Detroit.
Oh, the Tigers, the Tigers too.
Right,
those two. Everyone else is 5 games or less.
I forgot to tell you the team that has not won 3 games in a row after the Rockies did it today. There's only one team in Major League Baseball left. You guessed the White Sox. It's not the White Sox. Do you want one more guess? You have 5 seconds.
Baltimore?
It is not Baltimore. It is the Pittsburgh Pirates. They won tonight. They have not won 3 games in a row all season. It's June 4th, and they got the Cy Young leader.
Wow. Cam Stewart coming up next.
The Knicks really got past that playoff dragon for them that really stood in their way. So for the New York Knicks to be the Celtics and then an outright favorite to win the Eastern Conference Finals, that's where the disappointment is.
The goalposts got moved, right? Because when you went into the Celtics series, a lot of Knicks fans said they weren't going to beat it. I'll say this is more unprecedented than the 99 run when they were the 8th seed.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
No one is going to pick Indiana. No one's going to pick Indiana to make it close, honestly. Like, you could get tremendous odds if you pick OKC in 7.
I think that taking the series over 5.5 games, the last 2 NBA Finals series ended in 5. I think this one goes 6. I think the Thunder will get the job done, but I think the Pacers are just too strong of a team and too talented of a team and too deep of a team to lose in 5 or fewer games.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
Welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Dave, hour number 2. Watching a little hockey. Stanley Cup still 3-2. 4 minutes now left in the second period. Both teams playing some good hockey. We got some baseball. We got some golf. We got a no-hitter watch going on through 5. Arizona blanking the Atlanta Braves, who lately can't hit the red of a paper bag. Poor Chris Sale. He's the Atlanta version of Paul Skeens for Pittsburgh. So Merrill Kelly throwing a no-hitter, 7 strikeouts, 2 through 5. Only 65 pitches. We'll definitely keep an eye on that. With that, we'll welcome our next guest, our good buddy Cam Stewart, who takes over at the top of the hour along with Gabe Morency. What's going on, Cam? How are you tonight, bud?
I'm doing pretty good, Scott. Nice night. We got the Stanley Cup Finals, Game 1. It was a great baseball day. Dave, can you believe it? I bet the Rockies 3 times, and they've won 3 in a row. Yeah, I had a feeling like that line looked like a tricky man. I told you last night, bait line. Oh, Florida laying 25, 30 cents. I'm like, yay, Rockies. Hey, who's going to – hey, people, get off the Rockies' butts. Talk about the freaking Sacramento A's. These guys suck just as hard as the Rockies do. They can't win a damn baseball game. These guys are brutal. What do they have? 1 win in their last 19 or 20, Dave? What is it now?
Yep,
it's brutal.
Yep.
1 in 19.
1 in 19.
Yeah, 1
Yep.
in 19. And the Rockies have won 3 in a row. Let's put the brakes on, everybody. Give Colorado some love. Anyway, that was an awful series between the Marlins. Glad we were on the right side, Dave. Yeah, I don't know what happened, Dave. You know what I've realized about baseball too, guys? I don't even look at your starting pitchers, ERAs and stuff. Like Pittsburgh's throwing out Meadows, they win 3-0. The guy's got an ERA over 8.
Yeah.
It almost seems like the junk pitcher at the line, those are the guys that win sometimes. So it's really, really weird. Like we talk about aces, there's only a few of them that you can really, really trust, like all the time. So I find a lot of the time you'll just get better numbers with these guys who look absolutely awful, and then they pitch their butts off. So yeah, nice win by your Pirates today, Dave. And I will tell you about one pitcher, and you guys know, Mackenzie Gore. He's an automatic bet for me. I don't even care. He's on the Nationals. You see another performance by this guy again, shutting out the Cubs. He is so damn good. Oh, no, he's more than good. Like, you watch this guy up close, he is really figuring it out. He's a certified ace. Like, that's the thing, man. This guy, like, shutting out the Cubs. You've seen how hot their bats are. Hockey Game Live, guys. I got the first period wrong. I took Edmonton in the first period. Looked great a few seconds into the game, and Florida did their old Florida thing again, scoring goals in bunches. That's what they do. But we have a good hockey game right now. You're right, Wetzel. Lots of time left to get these more goals in the over. I heard you're on Florida. I'm on Edmonton. You can't really get plus 1.5 at a good price right now. So I'm going to have to, if I like Edmonton, I'm just going to have to take the plus money, and I'm already there in the game. But yeah, I might throw another log on the fire. I think they played a little bit better. Bobrovsky's been good, but you got to get traffic in front of the net. Skinner, he's been all right. Those goals weren't his fault. And I got to tell you, the Florida Panthers, these guys are they're geniuses. Every little thing they do. Like, you play hockey and you watch these guys. You see that, Dave? Bennett, he gets a little bit hit. Oh, he'll fall into the goalie. No goalie. Like, that, come on. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can't stay on your feet. But the referee's like, hey, man, the guy hit him a little bit, and you dive into the goalie. These guys are like wrestlers with foreign objects down their trunks. Like, they find every single way. They're just masters of like cheap shots, doing the right thing. They're just very intelligent. Yeah. No, Florida is like dirty, smart, everything like you name, win a hockey game, they will do. They will absolutely, I tell you, they'll sell out their mother to win. Man, this team is relentless, but Edmonton is pushing back after the 3-1. So I think they got a great chance. Would not be shocked if this game went to overtime, fellas.
Oh, wow. Okay. We'll keep an eye on that. I mean, Edmonton had 14 shots in the first period. They only got 3 shots in the second period. So
I know
Florida's doing what Florida does, and they kind of, put that boa constrictor on you a little bit, keep all the pucks to the outside. They're doing that exact thing. We talked to Ian McMillan earlier, Cam.
Oh, nice.
From Sports Illustrated, and he had some golf bets. I told him, put the tee in the ground, tee the ball up, grab your driver, and swing away. I'm going to do the same thing to you right now, sir. Get us ready for this Canadian Open up in your backyard.
Yeah, it's the best. They call it TPC Toronto. It's an hour north and friggin' farmland. It's in a place called outside of Caledon, which is absolutely gorgeous. Beautiful farms and homes out there. Hard course to get to, but a very good course. I played it once before when I was younger. Osprey Valley. It's very, very good. The rough will be penile. We're getting crazy weather here in the Toronto region. As I told you, Dave, 96, 97 Fahrenheit today with humidity. It's like scorching. Like it's one of the hottest days, so that course could bake out if they don't get any rain. Let's talk about it. We're going to go with Stewart and Stewart, me and Keith Stewart. That's our law firm, and we're with Mr. Burns this week. Sam Burns, great performances in Canada, 28-1 to win. Robert McIntyre won at Hamilton Golf and Country Club. I will take him again. The big lefty Scott at 30-1. This is an interesting story. I don't know if you talked to McMillan about this. Luke Clanton was an amateur, and he was on tons of page one of leaderboards. Now he becomes pro. He's making his pro debut. I want on him at 55-1. This guy's been bet down to 40 in some spots, so I got on him early. Watch out for Luke Clanton, a future star. Brady's guy, Matthias Schmid, 80-1. He finished runner-up a couple weeks ago. And my boy, who's dating a girl from Ottawa, got to have an afternoon nap with Jake. Jake Knapp, 85-1. First round leaders. This is where we go. Yeah, it was great last week. I got Colin Morikawa in second and some guy I've never heard of at like 400-1's the first round leader. I'm like, thanks, bro. He just took like 400 out of my pocket. Kashmir Keith Mitchell, he loves Thursdays, 55-1. Harry Hall from UNLV. He's England, Dave, but he went to UNLV, 60-1. Thomas Dietrich, big hitter, will do well at this course, 65-1. Chris got her up and put him down, baby. Let's party, 65-1. Jesper Svensson from Sweden and Chris Ventura, golf detective, 181 for first round leader, top tens. M plus 280, Norin plus 220, Olesen plus 230, Mr. Wallace plus 240, and Nikolai Norgard, one of the bigger hitters on tour, plus 270. Let's rock.
All right, there you go. How about the Joker today? Beating Alvarez, set up the Sinner Joker semifinal at the French.
I bet on Zverev like a stooge. I took Zverev like a stooge. That was actually a big loss for me today, but I've been doing well in the French. See that upset too? That French girl beating Andreeva. Andreeva had a nervous breakdown today. She went bananas. But Coco Gauff minus 450 in her next match. Oh, yeah, I got a parlay for you guys. How much time do we have left? Do we have time?
Let's go.
Go ahead.
10 seconds. Goff, Alcaraz, Sinner, minus 148. There we go.
There you go. Boom.
He gone.
That's a 10 parlay right there.
He got
All right.
Thanks, Cam. Cam again.
Later,
Top
guys.
of the hour. Later.
The Knicks really got past that playoff dragon for them that really stood in their way. So for the New York Knicks to be the Celtics and then an outright favorite to win the Eastern Conference Finals, that's where the disappointment is.
The goalposts got moved, right? Because when you went into the Celtics series, a lot of Knicks fans said they weren't going to beat it. I'll say this is more unprecedented than the 99 run when they were the 8th seed.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
No one is going to pick Indiana. No one's going to pick Indiana to make it close, honestly. Like, you could get tremendous odds if you pick OKC in 7.
I think that taking the series over 5.5 games, the last two NBA Finals series ended in 5. I think this one goes 6. I think the Thunder will get the job done, but I think the Pacers are just too strong of a team and too talented of a team and too deep of a team to lose in 5 or fewer games.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live, Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Dave wrapping up shop. Yeah, it really is a great week as far as NBA starting, NHL starting. We got the French Open. You got great semifinal matches on the men's side now. You got the finals on Saturday for the women, the finals on Sunday for the men, and then you got the Belmont on Saturday as well with the Preakness winner and the Kentucky Derby winner, both racing in the Belmont. So that should be a lot of fun. So pretty good weekend. Dave, we're going to come on tomorrow at 8:30. So right about when they're tipping off. So this is kind of our one little chance to throw our NBA plays out. I do like Indiana. I'm not going to call for them to win the series. I think they win tomorrow. And my best play is Indiana plus 2.5 games. I think you're going to get a lot of overs in the game. I wouldn't play the over in game one because both these teams have been off way too long. I like the under because we've seen that happen 1,000 times. But from that point on, over, and I think a 4-2, if not a game 7. I think Indiana wins game 1. They take 1 out of the 2 in Indiana, and we head back to OKC tied at 2.
Wow. Okay. I think OKC wins both home games, and then they split, and then we see what happens. Indiana can actually win both home games too, the way it goes. I think it goes 5 or 6, and I like OKC. I get the Thunder. So tomorrow night, that number's pretty big. I like the over more than anything. I don't really like the side pregame. Too much time off again. I mean, you're seeing it now with the hockey. You may get a fast start. You may get a quick quarter. I think you're right, though, thinking with all this time off and everything else, maybe it's ripe for Indiana to get the first quarter, cover the first quarter with that number. So something like that, first half maybe. But in the end, I think OKC is just going to play defense enough to make it very difficult for Indiana to win tomorrow night.
Would you lay the 7-1? You want to lay a game and a half? What's the game and a half? I think even that's almost like 3 or 4 to 1, right? You'd have to lay 2.5 to get it down to even money. I wouldn't do that.
I think I looked yesterday. I didn't look today. OKC in 5 and OKC in 6. I think those prices, if you play them both, because I don't think it's going to be a sweep, and I don't think it's going to go to game 7. So if you play OKC in 5 or 6, I think you cover your bet either way. And if it gets to game 5 and it's 3-1, then you can maneuver and do different things to cover in case they win it and you lose the game 6 bet. But I think the plus price is $215-ish for game OKC in 5 and a little bit more for game OKC in 6. So that's what I'm thinking happens. I'm sweating this softball, by the way. Texas Tech is leading Texas 1-0 in the bottom of the 6th. Really good softball game to watch in between periods of the hockey.
Of course. Here's the weird line that I see with the baskets. They're offering you the ability to bet FanDuel is after 3 games. That's like one of the new things in these series. So what do you think the series will be after 3 games? So you can bet OKC 3-0. If you do that, it's plus 172. OKC, believe it or not, the lead 2 games to 1 is plus money. Plus 116. That's not bad.
That's got to be
Indiana,
the favorite, though, right? That's two OKC
yes, that
2-1
is the favorite.
Going to be the favorite. What's the next choice?
Right. Indiana 3-0. That's not going to happen. That's 25 to 1. Here's the one that's strange to me, because Indiana is an overwhelming underdog, right? Overwhelming. Indiana to be leading 2-1 after 3 is only plus 390.
Wow.
You're getting, just for them to win game 1, you're getting plus 330.
I was going to say,
telling me
better off just parlaying the money line, like just taking the money line twice than getting that. That's a short number. That's a short number. Yeah, I'm not buying that. Wow, you see these finals MVP numbers? This is crazy. This is done.
Wow.
Look at that. 550 on SGA. Oh, my goodness.
I mean, who else could it possibly be, though, right? I mean, unless the dude gets hurt. This is the NBA Finals, unlike the Stanley Cup where it's the whole tournament. This is just the finals. So if he were to get hurt and they still win, but if they win, you're not even saying you might as well lay 7-1. I mean, it's almost the same thing. So Dave and I will be back tomorrow, 8:30 Eastern Time, 8:30 to 10, as the boys will preview the NBA Finals. We'll talk to you then.